Okay, now we are live. So hello YouTube, and for those who will be watching us later, I am Ana Laura. I will be your hostess today. I'm here with me. We have Catriona, Catriona, and Fernanda. And today's topic, we're gonna talk about cultural shock. Just a quick introduction about how TNT works first, right? For those that doesn't know us yet. TNT is a community where we came here to communicate in foreign language, not just English, but also Spanish, Italian, and French, right? The live meetings are not like regular classes. I'm not a teacher. I'm not here to correct you or anybody. There's no material or homework. We're just here to have a nice chat, to practice our speaking, right? In order to develop confidence and achieve fluency, right? But if you're interested to see, to purchase a plan, to have classes, you can see all the available options in our website, right? TALKNTALK.com.br. And yeah, I believe that's all. So I'm here with the girls, and today's topic, we're gonna talk about cultural shock. We just saw a video about a girl, an American girl who went to Spain, and she experienced a little bit of it. And yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Let me just paste the questions on the chat for you girls. Okay. Are you girls seeing the questions? Yes. Okay, so let's go. Maybe we could start presenting ourselves, right? Let me see. Fernanda, could you start, please?
Yes, my name is Fernanda. I live in Sao Paulo. I live with my mom, and I work in the financial area. I also give classes here for Spanish twice a week, and I like learning new languages. I like to have a time with my family, and that's it, I guess. I need to answer the first question.
Yeah, maybe we could do this way, and presenting and answering question number one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What are some things that define a culture? I think some things that define a culture are maybe the history, like of the country, also the way that people normally lives, and maybe the contact that you have with others. I think this define a culture.
Yes, I loved your answer. Definitely, I agree with you. These things could shape different cultures. Yeah. Thanks, Fernanda. Catriona, your turn. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Catriona. I'm 39 years old. I live in Vitória, Espírito Santo. It's a small city next to the sea. In this time, raining a lot, and I speak with Ana Laura before start the class. The weather here is crazy because I think it's almost the second week with raining a lot. I'm an engineer. I work with engineer. I think it's 15 years. I work with engineer. And now I'm working with new projects in the oil and gas sector. About the first question, what I think in this question, I think it's about the personality. Because when you compare, for example, the Italian, the Brazilian, and the Spanish, this kind of people is very expensive, and this kind of people like contact physical, touch. And when you compare with the Europeans, for example, the Europeans is far, far away from you. And I remember when I do my internship, intercambio. How do you say intercambio? I don't remember this name. But when I hear I hear in the street a noise person, I think it's Italian, it's Spanish, or it's Brazilian, because this kind of thing in the other world, it's different. The culture is totally different, and I think these things define the Spanish, Brazilian, Italian, I think, and the happiness. I think because the culture of this country is very happiness.
Yes, I agree with you. Usually these people are defined as with hot blood. I don't know if it is correct, the term. But yeah, sorry, did you mention that you made an internship, right? Estágio. To which country? I forgot.
In Ireland, Dublin. I stayed there.
Oh,
yeah. I think it's 5 months. In the past, I think it's almost 10 or 11 years. It's a long time ago. And but it's, for me, it's very interesting because I know about different cultures in that time. The Ireland is very beautiful because you have the Celtic culture, but the people there, it's different. It's French. It's not so cold like a German, for example, but it's nice because when you know about the culture, you respect the other person. I think these things, it's very important in the school today. My daughter have a class, and it's about the culture. Every kid have a country. My daughter choose the Germans, and the kids stood about the culture of this country, the clothes, the food, and the culture, and explain for the other kids. I think it's very cute because the kids understand the difference and respect these things, because I think it's very important. This mix of the culture is important, and respect this difference. It's very, very important.
Yeah, I strongly agree with you, Catriona. You mentioned something really important about to have this experience, even though it's not just like to go there, but to study a little bit about other cultures. You can understand, see others' perspectives, right? And then to respect at least, right, these others ways of live, right? And I believe that about World Cup, it's good because of that. Usually the kids, right, they see the different players from different nationalities, and can maybe study about a little bit, right, each country. It's really interesting and important as well. Thanks, Catriona. And Catherine, your turn. Can you introduce yourself and share with us what are your thoughts about question number 1?
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Catherine, or Cat. I'm living in Rio. I study biology in college, and I've been to since last month. Very great to be here. And about the first question, I think the things that define a culture is the way that a population or a group express yourself. So the music, the dance, the language, the art. So I think all this is a kind of express yourself. So
Yeah, girl. Welcome again, Catriona. You nailed it. Your question, your answer. I loved it. Thanks so much for sharing. So about me, a little bit. I am Ana Laura. I'm 26. I live in Barueri, Sao Paulo. I live with my boyfriend. And I am a biochemical engineer. I work in the food industry with quality control. And yeah, on my free time, I like to do some biking, reading books, and I love to be here as in TNT, where we can match different people, right? And yeah, I strongly agree with Catherine's mention about a culture is the way that people with usually the same, generally are with the same characteristics, express themselves. And one point that I would add as well is about the food, right? As well. They are part of the culture, right? So let's go, girls. Let's move to question number 2. Let's see, Fernanda, could you read for us aloud and answer?
Yes. Are you curious to know or experience different cultures besides your own? If so, which ones? Yeah, I'm curious about it. I think I would like to go to Spain, Mexico, and Colombia. I don't know if it is in English. Because I have a lot of contact with music from these countries, and also with TV shows and series. So I really want to know one day these countries.
Awesome. Which TV series, TV shows that you watch? I don't know anyone. Which TV series that you watch, Fernanda?
From Colombia, I watched Sempre Bruxa. It's from Netflix. Spanish, As Telefonistas, also A Casa de Papel, né? Como todo mundo. And there are others also from Spain. And for Mexican, I think I saw La Casa das Flores. And there are others, but my mind today is not it's not good. But I normally see Mexican and Spanish series.
Awesome. You study Spanish here at TNT. You are a host, right?
Yeah,
Spanish
for the
all.
classes, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. That's why I now understand. Thanks, Fernanda. And you, Catherine, would you like to experience other cultures besides the Brazilian?
of course, I would like to go to China or Japan because I think it's a totally different culture than mine. So I think it could be a good experience and maybe a culture shock. So yeah, but I think I don't be able don't you learning the language, but I will like to travel for these countries.
Yes, yes. Me and Catherine, we are on the same page. I really would like to go to Japan. I love their culture, and I really would like to go there, stay there for a while. Maybe not for living, right? Because, like you mentioned, they are so different from our culture. Maybe I wouldn't. Could handle live there, but yeah, I'm more with the interest about Asian culture. Yeah. And you, Catriona, you mentioned that you went to Ireland, but what else did you would like to go?
I love travel, and if it's possible, I travel every month. I think I'm very curious about Machu Picchu. I have this plan a long time, and probably in the next year I go to Machu Picchu because I think it's different, and I think it's very curious. The sculpture is different. I have an interest in Japan because I think the Japanese is very different. The culture it's about working a lot and study a lot. I think the Japanese think different when you compare the other cultures in the world. I don't know if I speak about I think it's I stay here for the month for the afternoon. All right, because I think travel is very good. It's the travel and know about other culture transform your mind, open your mind, and change. It's a possibility for you respect other persons. You, I say this because these things happen to me when you know and respect, because you need to respect the culture. When you visit other countries, I think these things change you.
Yes, definitely. Change our mindset as well, right? Because you can build a different background. Definitely. I agree with you, Katrina. Yeah, Machu Picchu would be interesting because it was a city from an ancient culture, and they are very developed at that time, right? The Spanish just conquered them because of the fire guns, right? But about the rest, they are so developed, right? I would like to go there as well.
Machu Picchu it's very different because when you study about the engineer who that people who are building this kind of architecture and the kind of engineer in the Machu Picchu is totally different, because in that time you don't have for that for the that constructions is totally different. Aztecas, Mayas, and Incas, it's far away in the next of the population in that time. It's different. Totally.
Yes.
And I think it's Egypt too.
Yeah.
Egypt.
The pyramids, I don't know if it is the correct pyramids. We still don't know how they did that, right? With their tools at that time, right? Crazy. It's like aliens, that mimi, you know. You don't know how the guys did in the past, but yeah. So let's move on to, everybody answered, I believe, yes, right? Yeah. So let's go to question number 3. If you girls can can say about explain how culture shock works and if you girls have ever experienced sometime. Let's start with Catherine. About you.
Okay. Culture shock. Yeah, I know a guy who from to Haiti. So when we talking, and he explained how things working in Haiti, I think I experienced a culture shock because very different. And yeah, I think I answered the question, but I never travel for another country, so that's it.
So yeah, I am on the same page as you. I never traveled for another country, but I wanna ask you about, we can maybe mix the two questions. Here about question number 5. It's possible to experience culture shock within your own country? Do you think, Catherine, it's possible? Have you ever, I don't know, maybe went to another region of Brazil or know people from other?
Yeah, I lived for a while in Natal, so yeah, for I think 8 years. So yeah, but it's similar to Rio. So there is some culture that I think that is different. Like the food is a little different. But yeah, I think it's possible.
Yes, I agree with you. So you went to Natal. They say there is a beautiful city. I would like to visit as well. But yeah, about the food, maybe how here in Brazil we say we it's a large country. We have different, like, oh, I forgot the word for sotaque as well.
Yeah, I would like to go to Pará because I think there maybe I will be a great culture shock because I think it's very different the way that they live because they have influence from the I don't know how to say in English, but traditional people who live in there, like indigenous. So,
Yeah.
so I think it could be very great if one day I could go there.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Catherine. And you, Fernanda.
To answer 4 and 5, right?
Oh, it's 3 and 5.
3, 5. Sorry.
Okay.
About the 3, I think culture shock is when you arrive at some place new and you feel that your culture is the culture that you were raised is different from that place. I don't know if I experimented, but also I went to I went to some cities like in Brazil, and I felt the people were more polite in the cities than here in Sao Paulo sometimes. So I feel like this difference. And also I went to Bahia, and there was a different food for in the hotel that I was that was typical from the city, so I think it was a different thing also. And I think I already answered the 5, and that's it.
Awesome. So you went to Bahia as well. This is another place that I would really like to go. Yeah, about the definition of culture shock, you nailed it. It's pretty what you said. But let's hear from Catriona.
I think about the very question. Yes, I have experience with this. When I go to Ireland, I stay together the Russians, and it's very different. The Russians stay with you and drink a vodka in the morning. It's very different, and it's crazy for me. It's in that time I said no, the people is crazy, but it's very common in that culture in the Russians. The Russians drink vodka a lot. It's very crazy. And I remember other experience when I know Aldeia. I don't remember the English, but it's very different. In the past, I'm a teacher, and I stay in one place with my students, and Monte Pascoal, na Bahia, and there have a aldeia, and it's very different. You have a shock when you meeting these people because it's different. And about the question number 4, I think the Brazil is bigger. When I'm engineer and I'm working different places in Brazil in these 15 years, and I have a shock when I go to Bahia and I live in there for 3 years. It's very different because the Baianos is very slow when you compare with the other persons in Brazil. There the people is very happy, and when you have the carnival, you don't have employers for working for 2 weeks. And that time I'm very stressful because I'm a manager, and I think no, it's crazy, and it's totally different. It's totally, the culture is different. Carnaval and São João, it's like a religion for the Baianos, and it's very different. In that time, the company where I work is say for me, it's the culture. If you don't have these things, but for me, it's very different because you don't have people for working this time. If the people go to work, it's hang out sometimes. I'm engineer and I live with my machines. It's very dangerous for people. And for me, this shock is very different for me. And it's Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil is bigger. Our culture is very different. It depends how do you see your visit? It's totally different.
Yeah. As you mentioned, something that is true, right? Brazil is a big country. We have different regions, different cultures within Brazil, right? And different ways that the people live. Like, yeah, I remember what I wanted to say. What Fernanda mentioned about Sao Paulo, that she has this impression about that people in other cities are more polite. Like when I go to Sao Paulo, everybody's in a rush. The subways, it's crazy. People almost I forgot the term, to atropelar. If they could, they would atropelar você. I forgot the term, but yeah, Sao Paulo, it's a little different, the capital, but I never went to other regions. The more the most different city that I went was Rio, where Catherine lives. But yeah, I stayed there just for a weekend. But for me, it was like almost the same. I didn't have this experience within here in Brazil, going to northeast or north or the south. But yeah, like Catriona mentioned before, travel is really good. If I could do it, I would do it all months, every month. Yeah. So let's see about the time. Yeah. Let me see. Question number. Oh, this one. Have you girls ever heard about reverse or re-entry culture shock when a person go to somewhere, like live for a while in a different culture or country, and when she come back for her home country, she can adapt back, you know, she was like used to with the other culture. Have you girls have ever heard about it, or heard about somebody that experienced? Let me see. Fernanda. Oh, Catriona, you wanna say
My
something?
mother-in-law, the mother of my husband, is mother-in-law, is correct, living in Portugal. When my mother-in-law is staying in Brazil, we stay in the cell phone in the middle of the street. And some days I said, it's not like Portugal here. Probably você vai ser assaltada. And it's different for her thinking these things, because she have a bag and open the bag with a many quantity of euros, and it's very
The middle of the street?
yes, when my mother-in-law is staying in Brazil, my husband and the other brothers they very stressful, because she don't pay attention with these things, and sometimes stressful all the people around there, because the culture in Portugal, it's different here. You don't have a risk like this with these things, for example, and it's different for her understand and adapted this culture. And Vitória, it's not dangerous like Rio de Janeiro, but here you have assaults. It's very common. If the people dá mole, it's more common.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is our reality. Hopefully, it would change. But I'm curious, did she came back and like speaking with Portuguese accent? Like
Yes. Sometimes when I know my mother-in-law, and she told me about rapariga, and I thought, oh, my mother-in-law tell about rapariga. In the Bahia, rapariga is other. You imagine other things, but in Portugal, rapariga is a moça bonita. And
oh,
other things, when my mother-in-law says in the middle of the restaurant, when sit your cool here, boom boom, there it's cool. It's very different in Portugal. It's very common for Portuguese say these things. And when I listen this for the first time, I stay shocked in the middle of the restaurant. And my mother-in-law speak very with a noise voice. It's different, totally different.
I didn't know they call the butt like this.
Yes. In Portugal, boom boom, it's cool. It's different. It's very different.
This is strange. Oh, I
They
believe that
have
you didn't like it.
other words, but I don't remember the other. But this, it's I remember
Pretty
these things
shocking.
in my mind because for me it's very
Yeah.
different.
Okay, thanks, Catriona. And you, Fernanda, have you heard of anyone who experienced reverse culture shock?
No, actually, no.
No? But do you think that would be like common? People that go there, live for a while and come back? Or do you believe that it's a natural that they get used to again with their home
I
culture?
think it's normal that this happens. Like you go to another country and then you feel like something different there, and it's difficult to get used to these differences. That's it.
Got it. I agree with you. Thanks, Fernanda. And you, Catherine?
No, I never met someone who experienced this, but I've already heard about when a people lives a too long time outside and back here, and they experience the thing, the reverse culture. So yeah, could it be possible?
Yeah, I have heard. I met someone that experienced with, but it's funny because there is a family in the neighborhood of my mother that they are, Japanese descendants, and their daughters, they go there to study and work at Japan, and one of them get use it and adapt really easily there. And even when I believe that the plan was they go there and stay for like 4 years to get some money as well. And one of the girls came back and reversed and experienced the reverse culture shock. She couldn't adapt again back for the Brazilian, and then she went back to Japan and lives there. And by the other hand, the other sister, it was a nightmare for her to live there in Japan. She didn't adapt. She just was dreaming about when and how she would come back to Brazil. And like they are sisters. They were raised like, so it's something I believe related maybe to personality as well, like the something a culture that maybe is more, I forgot the way that I could say, but yeah, I believe that depends on some of people's personality as well, and how she like to live or to live their lives.
It is a interesting thing because I think people when go to another country have to adapt in this country, and when he or she come back, have to adapt here again. And I think this kind of person never be the same because when he go to the other country, I think they can adapt, but there are also things, specifically things they can miss. Like, I don't know, parties in Brazil. In Japan could be very different. So, yeah, they can like to the culture, but I think they can miss something. And when he or she returns, is the same way. So
Yes,
people don't
yes.
belong to anywhere.
Yes, yes. Maybe she liked a little bit of things about it, but in general, she couldn't adapt and she didn't like to live there. But probably this experience teach this girl something. Maybe she pick some of things of the culture of Japan that she enjoyed, but in general she couldn't adapt. But yeah, every, like you mentioned, every experience counts. Like my mother would say, right? Thanks, Catherine. Oh, this one is interesting. We're running out of time, but I think that would be nice if I want to hear from you girls about question number 9. Did you girls ever heard of, I believe that it's common here in Brazil, this quote, like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Em Roma, faça como os romanos fazem. Have you girls ever? So I was thinking about, yeah, when you went somewhere new, if you girls think that this quote is valid, like it's always a good advice, and why? When you go just for, like, not just for live, but to visit as well, you girls think that it's true, this quote, this, let me see, Fernanda, what do you think about this quote?
Like it, I don't know if I understood, but I understand that is if you go to some place new, you have to follow the rules that are there. Is that okay? I think it's a little bit polemic because you have your own culture, your own experiences, and maybe you cannot, you should not lose it just because you are in another place. I think you should like analyze if it's something that will change you so much and you will not have your customs with you. So that's it for me.
Yes, girl, you nailed it. I loved your answer. You picked the spirit. Like, yeah, it's polemic. That's why I bring this question. But yeah, I strongly I agree with you. Maybe we didn't do all follow all the things because we are different from them. Maybe we can respect and adapt our customers, our or the way that we live, but not lose, our, I don't know the term, but essência, and that's why I brought this question. Let's hear now from Catriona. What about you? Do you agree or
I
disagree?
agree. I think when you stay in the place, I think it's for you understand the culture. I think it's you need the species. I don't remember these things in English, but I think it's important. It's important envolver-se. I don't remember envolver-se, but stay in the middle of the people and the culture, because in when I go to Bahia, for example, I'm shocked But after a time, I understand if I stay very stressful, my work don't happen. And after one time, when in home, do as the Romans, and in film also stay in the carnival and the Festa Junina in São João, and I love São João, and I think it's important. It's important if you stay in a place. It's important you know about this the culture, and if you put the bridge between you and the culture, you don't learning. And in that time I'm very younger, and I don't understand these things. But now I think it's totally different, because the habits and it's different in in the different places. I think I agree with this phrase.
Got it. Yeah, you mentioned something important, like when I believe that when Fernanda said and I about like this quote is like a little bit polemic, but I believe that the right word would be balance, because about what you say, right? Oh, the doesn't like build a wall between you and the new culture. The word is balance and the depth. Like Fernanda mentioned, to like to filter, right? Maybe, oh, I'm learning with this new culture, what makes sense for me and for what I believe, and I also have to respect and understand the other people that are around me, right? Yeah, I agree with you too, Catriona. Thanks. And you, Catherine, your turn.
Yeah, Fernanda and Catriona. No, I think my connection is bad. Well, I agree with Fernanda and Catriona, because I believe don't building wallet is important, but I think that is we have to respect yourself. So if I go to a place that people used to be naked and I don't feel comfortable, I think it's better don't doing this. So yeah, I have to respect what I believe, what is important and good for me.
Yeah, you nailed it, set it up. Thanks, Catherine. So girls, unfortunately, we are running out of time. I will have to close the meeting, but really quick, I sent some links on the chat, right? The first one is to you girls to send your feedback about this specific meeting, and me as a hostess. It's anonymous, but you can go there and give feedback. Oh, Anna, you could do better at this or that, or maybe we have some, put some other topics that you girls would like to discuss as well, to suggest, right? The second one is to TNT's website, and the third one is for this live on YouTube. So if I forgot, I changed. The feedback is the third one is the link for YouTube live is the first one. Sorry. So if you can go there, hit the like button, subscribe at TNT's channel, would mean a lot for us. And that's all. I hope to have girls have a great day, and I see you next week. Okay.